And welcome, folks. We're live on another edition of Steady Dropping Dimes. Now, look, we come to you. I have to say thank you to the people because we were in the Victor's Lounge, and my man, I think he's from Plymouth. Can't remember his name. His name was Dev though. His name was Dev, and he said, "Man, that dime show, that dime show." He said, "Man, keep dropping them dimes." I was like, "Okay, we starting to reach the people," and I appreciate that. This is our chance to kind of give you real opinions, not sugar coated. Certainly PG, but not sugar coated. This is how we do when I get together with Daniel, who's represented kind of on this wall. I had to come in and do the film breakdown with Board just because he couldn't work his computer, so I have to do this at the office today. So I got number 4 represented in the background. That's kind of Daniel, right? It's kind of, we gonna get one to say Horton as well, right?
Yes, there we go. There we go.
And then I got number 98 on the back over there as well. But the funny thing about that jersey, Devin, you couldn't tell the difference between the 9 and the 8 on the jersey.
Yeah, I was 88 as far as we're concerned. Them jerseys were so tight, man. You know, them jerseys so small. One of the 8-year-old I work with, I let him wear it in practice. He'd be wearing it in practice, and he fitted just fine. That's ridiculous.
Hey, man, back in the day, you could fit that jersey, though, right?
I know. I can't fit it now.
The name of the show is Steady Dropping Dimes. This is where we come together with a couple of guys that I love and respect, like little big brothers. Like they bigger than me, but they my little brothers because I watched them grow up. Right, watch Daniel grow up in Michigan basketball. McDonald's All-American comes in and is a star, and they robbed him. We're gonna talk about this. They robbed Daniel Horton of a tournament appearance. And it seems to me that this incarnation of Michigan, I got a couple straps. I see my neck. It's my neck. My neck has been bothering me. So I got,
2-strap Sam. There he is.
I got to show you how it works. See, people have been asking me where you get to. You see how it massages the neck and then you can turn the heat on. You see it turn to red. Yeah, man. Yeah.
That looks freaky. Get that out of the camera.
Hey, I use it to massage my neck.
But I ain't judging, man. I ain't judging.
Hey, this man, he has the cleaning lady in the background, ladies.
Just relax, man.
Cleaning lady in the other room, taking care of all of the corners and the crevices of the house. Of the penthouse. Taking care of
man, Sam, start the show.
Live large.
She buffed your fingernails too, Devin.
Man, start the show, man.
All right, Steady Dropping Dimes. This is where we bring you the real live sports opinions every single week. And we give it to you from the perspective, there's a lot. There's some Michigan in here, but we talk to you from the perspective of sports fans, right? Not just Michigan sports fans. That's why we make a great effort to bring in all sports. But here's the thing that's been so unique about the here and now. Michigan is the sports story. They are the biggest story in all the sports right now. That's why you got Stephen A. Seem like every show he got to have an opinion about Michigan, which we will get to. I see Daniel shaking his head. That's me teeing Daniel up to do his thing. Steady Dropping Dimes is brought to you by our friends at Destination Ann Arbor. Without your tour guides to all things Ann Arbor, we would not be here today. Now, when it comes to places to go, places to eat, events come into town, events you might want to plan in town, right? Some of the things that you may not know about, parks and recreation, things I've been talking about on a lot of these episodes. Destination Ann Arbor is your tour guide. You go to their website, you'll find out all the things that are going on in Ann Arbor, all the places to go, and you're going to meet the lady who makes it go at Destination Ann Arbor coming up in the I Love Ann Arbor segment, where we're going to I had a beer and a burger with her. You met the Frazier's owners, but I actually sat down and had the beer and a burger with Sarah Miller, who runs the show over at Destination Ann Arbor. So you'll get a chance to meet her coming up later in the show. But fellas, Daniel, you called Jim Harbaugh a bully. Why are you calling Jim Harbaugh a bully?
Man, if you're able to go out there and beat people by 2, 3, 4 touchdowns, and y'all both have each other's information, so they say, right? To me, that makes you a bully, right? So one team is complaining about, oh, Michigan had our signals, so we changed them. Now the information comes out that, hey, they had our signals too, and you still got beat by 3 touchdowns. Hey man, that dude is a bully, man. Like that's why they're like going. You know, we got to go call somebody on him. It reminds me of that episode. I mean, you ever seen Belly when a dude walk out and he see DMX driving by? He's like, oh, in the nice car. Like, oh, I don't like that. I got to drop a dime on him. Ryan Day and whoever, I don't want to allegedly though, whoever it is, they're dropping dimes right now because they're really scared of the bully on the block. And as long as Harbaugh continues to do what he's done and build a program with kids with character and kids talented, they will continue to be a bully. So
and here's the thing: if I'm Purdue, right? I'm Purdue. Why the hell I'm gonna listen to Ohio State and Rutgers? They got the brakes beat off of them. And why are those two schools complaining? Devin, both those teams were leading at halftime, right? Rutgers was leading, and now Rutgers need to shut up because Rutgers gonna get the brakes beat off them. Idiot! Like I don't even understand how they have a voice in this. I've gotten to the point now where it's time for Michigan to stand up and say, the rest of y'all lucky we here. Like the only reason why Indiana, Nebraska, Rutgers, all these teams make any money is because of us. So you should shut up and just get paid. Shut up and get paid and let us do what we do. Like if you Rutgers, you should want Michigan to be successful. You should want. They're trying to keep Michigan out of the playoff last year. Are you stupid?
That's less money for you.
You got 2 teams in the playoff, so you got paid more. But you were willing to sacrifice your check just because you want to get back at Michigan? It don't make any sense, Devin.
You know what else they should be thankful for is that, Daniel called Jim Harbaugh a bully. I think he's a nice guy. Because think about what could be done to these teams, even including Ohio State. JJ was on the sideline at the end of that game, wasn't he? Right? He's calling off the dogs. Like, think about what he could have done, Michigan State. What could it have been? Rutgers, what could it have been? Purdue, what could it have been if he really wanted to get down on y'all? Why are we complaining? And he's doing all of you a service. He's being nice to you. He's allowing you to walk away with at least a little bit of dignity. And essentially, what Daniel was saying is the investigation is goofy. You're investigating the wrong things. You need to investigate and really dang near cancel Jim Harbaugh because he a bully. He killing y'all like this. That's what he need. Because in cancel culture, you get bullied. Bullying is frowned upon. They need to be investigating. Quit bullying people, Jim, and be nicer. But in my opinion, he's being very nice. He's not putting up 60, 70. He's calling off the dogs as early as possible, giving other guys a chance to play, knowing that you won't continue to dominate the team in the fashion that you had dominated them all game, and they don't appreciate it. So from here on out, I say keep rolling. Right? You get up, keep rolling on them. I don't see why not, because they don't appreciate the kindness.
If it's me and I'm Purdue, I'm in the Big Ten championship game, I talk to Illinois. I talk to Maryland.
Only team that you should have talked to.
Right. I'm not talking to Ohio State. Yeah. Ohio State looked like trash against Michigan last year. They got destroyed. And they call it Purdue. Man, if I'm Purdue, I'm telling Rutgers, like, man, don't y'all got other things to worry about? I mean, can y'all get some seats, some butts in the seats at your stadium?
Basketball season will be here soon enough.
Right. I mean, man, when has Rutgers been of consequence in an actual good league? Never.
They played the first football game, didn't they?
Okay, yeah. All that time ago, sure.
History.
Back then,
they got history, baby.
Back then, my point is, why are they not realizing that Michigan being good is good for you? I'm talking about the also red. It's not good for Ohio State.
Yeah.
But Michigan being good is good for Rutgers.
Yeah, for the smaller teams, of course.
Yeah. Michigan being good is good for Purdue. The only
TV deals. Think about all the new TV deals because Michigan is so dominant, right? You got CBS, NBC, everybody jump in on Big Ten, and y'all trying to ruin that? That seems weird.
Right. Let's do a little test. So everybody has to go out and see if when they step out on their own, if they have takers, right? So you step out and you go see who wants me. That's the real test about how good you look.
Yeah.
Step out on your own and see if you have takers. How many Big Ten teams would have takers? Ohio State would have some takers, right?
Penn State has some takers.
Penn State have some. Michigan has some, but the rest of these squads, that's what I'm saying. Be real quiet. Because if I'm Michigan, at this point, I am looking at a future where I might go out there and look and see if there are any takers. Why? Because they have turned around the 13 other coaches and teams and ADs. I've heard some of the most asinine arguments ever. We talked about one of them last week being, guess what? Player safety. If player safety was an issue from stealing signs, then you should be the biggest advocate for wristbands or huddling or speaker technology out there. I haven't seen or heard Alan Haller talking about that anywhere. Why?
And Sam, I want you to not call it speaker technology. I remember in practice, we used to do that before we got our signs in. All you got to do is stick a walkie-talkie in the helmet, and the coach on the sideline got to walkie-talkie. It ain't no special technology now. I'm just telling you that the helmet got a lot of space in you. Stick that in there, you're good to go, is all I'm saying. So it ain't super crazy technology. Obviously, there are other ways to do it with better technology, man, but come on.
It's so cheap, even Rutgers can afford it. How about that? How about that? Everybody can afford it. They could get this out of the game, and player safety was such an issue. But it's not. Coaches must want to steal signs. They must see it as a part of the game. But now you have someone sitting out here saying that we got to be concerned about player safety. Asinine, asinine, whatever it is.
That's one of those things where, like, you can't really, when people throw it out there, you can't really challenge it, right? Like, we know what those code words are in life, and in every field, right? Whether it be sports, whether it be workplace, or that, it's certain things when you say, people have to automatically feel like they're obligated to react to. So when he says, oh, it's about player safety, now it's like, oh my God, it's about player safety. They're going to know where they're, man, come on, man. Like, everybody.
Hey, Sam, do it sound like Daniel was listening to our show? It ain't came out yet, so I know he got that out of his own brain. Same thing I said. You are playing on people's hearts and emotions because you say player safety, and you know that's a trigger word.
Yeah, man.
Trigger phrase.
At which point, someone should have turned around and said, well, any scouting, if I'm in the game and I see a lineman sort of leaning back in his stance, I know it's a pass, so he in danger because I can run full speed at him. Like, come on, man. This is just the dumbest stuff. But another dumb thing, I shouldn't say it's dumb because my fellow, I got coaches I got friends in the profession that don't work in this shit, right? Some of them was like, hey, man, you might want to not go so hard in the paint on this. You know, it's proof out there they was doing X, Y, Z. The only thing that I've seen, and we talked about it, it's not like when we saw Carter Stallions on the sideline, we're like, no. It's like, hey, man, right. That's probably him, right?
Seems to be him. But the burden of proof is on the accuser. But it do look like him a little bit.
Right, right. We didn't sugarcoat that and say, look, if they're caught dead to rights on that, that's some in-person scouting. Just giving an appropriate punishment. That's how we're talking about. Don't try to send a man to prison for life for that. I'm talking about figuratively speaking. Right? Don't try to do that. But all this other stuff, man, they start adding on stuff. Said, man, you know what? They don't just have signs. They got the whole playbook. They were hacking us. I said, well, how do you think what makes you say they were doing that? I made some moves in the game and they made the right counter. I said, man, maybe that's just good coaching.
Maybe they watched the film that's available to everybody.
Right? Okay. Right. Well, what about the second half scoring differential? They're setting records. And I said, so let's get this straight, man. Let's get this straight.
They holding back in the first half. Making it close. Hey, this is the greatest scam in the history of scams then. Almost we're like, hey, I'm only going to do a little bit in the first. I'm going to risk a little bit and make it close, and then we're gonna smash me the second. Yeah, let's do that.
Why not question Ohio State's point differential during the Urban Meyer era if it's true that they had our signals in 2018 and 2019, right? Nobody's questioning their point differential and how they've been so dominant over the last however many years within the conference. But so as soon as we turn the corner and make some changes, now all of a sudden, hey, it's something's not right. Man, come on, man.
Yeah, the one thing I think that everybody should take a look at when you talk about point differential, the team, whatever. First of all, since Jim Harbaugh got there, it's been a good team, right? And he hasn't had the quarterback. And when you look at him throughout his career, Colin Cowherd said this, when you look at him throughout his career, when he get the quarterback, they are nice. Yeah. When he gets the quarterback, they are nice. At Stanford, he gets the quarterback, nice, right? Start bullying everybody, right? At Michigan, you get the quarterback, you're nice. In San Francisco, right? He found some gym out of Nevada and started bullying everybody. So he's an outstanding coach without a quarterback, obviously, right? With just an average, regular old quarterback. But once he gets the quarterback, like the guy, which we have all agreed that J.J. McCarthy is, the way he's playing has backed that up. I'd love to say that I was the first one on it, and I said, hey, listen, man, he's the guy, and I don't know why they're playing this other guy, but, you know, they'll figure it out soon. They finally figured it out, and now they're demolishing everybody. So you have to look at that prior history. Maybe that's the reason why they're dominating in the second half and what have you, because he has the quarterback, and that's the track record he's put out there.
Hey, Big, can you what you say, Dave?
Let me ask you a question, Sam. You've been covering recruiting for years now, right? Yes, didn't you all predict this 2 or 3 years ago when they signed the class with JJ and Blake and Donovan? Yep. Wasn't this predicted that if these guys were developed and they dedicated themselves to the sport, that this would be the fruits of their labor? Why are we questioning that?
Well,
we know what the truth is.
Because they don't like Jim Harbaugh. So Ben, if you could find the article, Ben is our producer in the background. If you could find an article from, I believe it was Greg Doyle from the Indy Star, who has a Heisman. He said, can't vote for JJ for the Heisman because he's benefiting from the cheat. Can you find that article? I told you that. Yes. See, I did not tell you it was going to happen. Did not tell you that somebody was going to try to make it affect JJ's Heisman candidacy. And here you go. Former national guy, but now he's at the Indy Star. And he's like, hey, no. Can't vote for JJ for the Heisman because he's benefiting from Michigan cheating. That's an actual take.
Oh, because quarterback, if you get that, he know exactly what they're doing out there. What are we talking about, dog? That is taking it so far. I mean, it's already been taken way too far, but I just don't get it, man.
Well, you know what I mean? Heisman Trophy winners that stood up at their podium, and they have all type of stuff going on in their program. That like it's hypocritical. It's all very, very hypocritical by all parties involved. Like, come on, man, let's just play football.
And I want to give this guy the benefit of the doubt and say he don't believe that. He don't really think like that. But if he writes, like you said, he used to be national, right? So if he writes something like that, he's going to get a lot of clicks, man. And maybe he can get back to the prominence that he once had. I don't know. I don't know the guy. But I'm just saying that's so goofy. There's no way he believes that. But guess what? We're going to talk about it here. You're going to talk about it other places. People are going to click on it over and over again. People that hate Michigan are going to click on it and repost it and show, yes, I agree. People that love Michigan are going to comment and hey, this guy's ridiculous. So it's a win-win. Kanye said it, man. Good publicity, bad publicity. It's a win-win for him. So I'm just going to give him a bit of a benefit of the doubt and say he's not crazy. He just knows the game.
Yeah, Ben said it's behind a paywall, so we can't share it. But it was written. Just trust me when I say it was written. Just like you said, it's a goofy opinion. Hey, Stephen A. he's still out there saying Michigan should be banned from the college football playoff.
Well, Stephen A. is with ESPN, right? And ESPN doesn't have Big Ten rights, right? I mean, they have some, but not a big share. The thing for me is when we were talking about the team should be grateful because of TV deals and things like this. Think about this. After so many years in the SEC, CBS said, you know what? We're going to do away with it, and we're going to go all in on Big Ten. Do you think – because Ohio State's been dominating for years. Do you think that has nothing to do with the fact that one of the most visible programs, the logo that Block M, is dominating so much and playing so well? Don't you think that's a big part of the reason why a conference that's widely known as the best conference for over a decade now, a network says, you know what, we're good on that. We're just going to head over to the Big Ten. And what that does for the pockets of all these other universities, right, is make them extremely fat. right? You get more money. Rutgers, you get more money. So the attendance thing, you don't got to worry about that because the TV deals are through the roof. And I don't think they appreciate that. And obviously, Sam, it was a stretch to say, hey, Michigan, go ahead and put yourself out there and go to another conference because it don't feel right for Michigan to be in a different country. It just don't feel right. But
I don't give a damn. It don't feel right. Yeah, it do feel right.
But
right.
That at a point, if you super petty, you could think about that. Like, you know what? You ungrateful, disloyal.
Hey, man, get Alonzo going.
You think you can do this to me? I put cases on all you teams. You'll be in Pelican Bay.
That's exactly how I feel. You think you can do this to me? You'll be playing basketball in Pelican Bay. I'm through with you. That's exactly how Michigan should be right now. You know why I feel like that? Let's rewind the tape to Daniel's time. I said Daniel was robbed. He was robbed of the opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament because Michigan self-imposed a penalty for something that had nothing to do with Daniel, way before Daniel's time. You know, Ed Martin, the Fab Five, and Michigan. There's some stories that were written that he had relationships with players, with Chris Webber and the like, before they got to Michigan, right? Yeah. He known the family, had known him since he was in 7th grade, had given him some money. You know all the story, right? But Michigan said, well, he was a booster because they had hotel rooms and he was in the tunnel and, you know, all that. He traveled in the same circles as the team. He was doing that with a bunch of teams. Yeah. You know, Ed Martin had players at Michigan State. Ed Martin had players at Missouri. Ed Martin had players at Syracuse. So if I'm Michigan, my position is, look, man, this guy had relationships with these players when we got them. You're talking about pre-existing relationships, not relationships that were born of them coming to Michigan. Relationships they had going back to middle school. So that's a violation. If that's a violation for Michigan, then Michigan State needs to be up here. Missouri needs to be up here. Syracuse needs to be up here. Let's go down the line. Because he had players everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere. But no, Michigan took it on the chin. Because, hey, just guess what? He was at our games. He was in our tunnel, so on and so forth. See, the stance they should have taken was, okay, we will serve whatever punishment that you come at us with, but make sure everyone else serves that punishment too. Yeah. So fast forward to the here and now. This is why I like Michigan's posture right now. If you have proof that we violated these rules, we'll do a punishment. First, you got to prove it. And then after you prove it, go check all of them out. And as long as they weren't doing any of those things, then fine. We'll be the only ones. But make sure that they weren't doing those things. But until then, no, we aren't taking any punishment. I think when Tony Petitti came in here, he kind of thought he was going to say, all the teams, they're so ashamed of what you're doing. They're so upset with what you're doing. We think you should impose self-impose a indefinite suspension. And I think they said, are you insane? You really think we're going to do that? That's not going to happen. You impose any kind of punishment. So this is the posture that I think Michigan is taking right now. You impose any kind of punishment, we will see you in court. Yeah. You suspend Jim Harbaugh, it's not going to be actionable. Jim Harbaugh is still going to coach in the game. You know why? Because we got a judge right now ready with an injunction. Like, I can't really tell you that. I'm just implying to you that when this happens, we have to judge on the ready. You can even bring it down on Friday. Just because you think it's a national holiday, a federal holiday, and of course be closed, we still got a judge ready to do this for us. Now, have I heard anybody say that? No, I have not. Do I believe it to be the case? Yes, I do. And this is the message that I think they're sending back to the Big Ten. Like, you can do this if you want, but we will rain the fury down upon you when you do. And all of this will have been for nothing because Jim Harbaugh is still going to be coaching in the game, fellas.
And you know what else people are doing? They're telling recruits, hey, man, they rescinded the contract. Coach, Jim Harbaugh not even going to be there. They cheating. He not going to be there. So now recruits looking like, oh, well, maybe I don't want to go to, it's all a ploy just to basically, I would think by the the Ohio States and the Penn States, because obviously Rutgers has no chance at ever dominating a conference. This conference, at least, I would think. It's those teams that actually have maybe a chance, right? If Michigan were to be gone, or Michigan were to be down, or Michigan were to go back to, Rich Rod era or whatever, those teams are like using this as a ploy, because even if nothing comes down, they can still go in the living rooms with the recruits and say, hey, Michigan was cheating. Or Harbaugh's going, he's gone. Oh, they didn't give him a contract. All these different things, and it's goofy. It's kind of weak. Actually, it's very weak. I don't think it's kind of weak. It's very weak. And I think, Sam, you're exactly right. This is Michigan, for God's sakes. They have the people in place to do everything you're talking about.
Hey, so Daniel, see,
Yeah.
Devin likes the analogies that talk about the greatness of DG. So DG, you've been in relationships before.
Here we go.
You've been in relationships before, right? You think you're a handsome fellow, right? You think you're a catch?
Yeah, all I want to say is I shaved my beard and I was still pretty handsome, is all I'm saying.
That's kind of my point.
Some people can't do it without the beard, is all I'm saying. I shaved my beard off and I still was getting down,
So do you think you brought something to the table, right? You
yes, I bring something to the table.
Elevated the relationship. Now,
yes, I agree. Yes, I agree with that.
Relationship at the time.
I can concur.
But when your significant other, whoever she was at the time, when she got out of pocket, did you say, "Oh, I just wouldn't feel right if we were apart"? We've been together so long that we gotta stay together.
Damn, you know me better than that, baby. Hey, you know me better than that.
Right. So why are the rules different from Michigan? Just because they've been together a long time? If they're getting out of pocket, it's time to at least consider a future that is different. Is to at least look at the possibility of doing something without them. Because if they turn around and do this to you now, with no due process, on the strength of one big-time school and a bunch of throw-ins, everybody else is a throw-in. Why are they even talking? Why do we have to hear from Rutgers on this? Why do we have to hear from Indiana on this? They should all be quiet. This is about Ohio State. And if
get down there and eat with your man. He should be at the kid table.
Thank you. That's my point. And that's how Tony Petitti needs to be thinking. Listen, I got two marquee programs, kind of a a timeshare program at Penn State. And then everybody else is a throw-in.
Yeah.
Right? We got two mansions, a timeshare, and some throw-ins. If you're a throw-in, shut up. Best Penn State. Penn State timeshare. They used to be up there. They visit there every now and then they get out. They visit for like a season or two, and then they're gone. Two matches, a timeshare, and a bunch of throw-ins. The throw-ins don't count, Tony. Throw-ins don't count.
Think about this, Sam. Think about it. It seems like there's a lot of smart people involved that have these degrees and titles, lawyers, and all these years of experience working within sports and different conferences and leagues, and they pick and choose when they want to have common sense, right? 20 years ago, during the Michigan scandal, they didn't have common sense. But during the Tennessee scandal, where they just had 200 plus violations, one of the reasons why they say it didn't hit them so hard is because the people that committed those violations and those infractions were no longer a part of the program. That makes sense. That's common sense. So where is it? Why do I just don't understand what the NCAA? Why do they pick and choose when they want to be smart? Like I guarantee you they understand it's not smart to continue down the path that they've gone down already. What the Big Ten, I should say, the path they're going down as far as regarding punishing Michigan for whatever violations. They have to know that it's not. It doesn't even seem smart from the outside looking in from people who don't have law degrees or understand business tactics and stuff like that. So it just it's ridiculous.
A bunch of studio apartments.
That's what we're talking about.
And that's not against people who got studio apartments,
No, it's not. No, it's not. But I mean,
if you got a studio apartment, don't come to me telling me how much, how you don't get a say in nothing really.
Listen,
man, y'all calling people extended stay hotels.
When you got the neighborhood organization, right? The studio apartments don't have the same vote as the residences, right?
Yeah, the duplex community don't get the same vote.
Sam, what would Michigan State be as far as the timeshares, the hotels, what is it?
They're Airbnb, man. They're Airbnb.
No, Sam. No. They're the duplex community. They're not the Airbnb. They're the set of duplexes.
Hey, man. Hey, he said a bunch of motels. But see, here, this is. I don't like talking like this. it's the all for one for all in the Big Ten. Everyone gets an equal share. I've been on that for a long time. I'm like you. It's the Big Ten. But when they turn around and stab you in the back, this is where I miscalculated to the people. Like I was telling everybody, it's not every coach in the Big Ten. You know the ones.
Shiano keeps trying to remove himself. He's like, listen, guys, I don't know why y'all keep throwing me in here. I didn't say none of this. I'm not involved.
Don't believe that.
But he is.
Don't
Right?
believe that.
Now that you see that it's all these teams, all of them, including the ones who've been around and been riding your coattails for see, Rutgers just started riding the coattails. Nebraska only just started riding the coattails, right? But the Indianas of the world, the Michigan States of the world, who Michigan State's whole existence is based on Michigan. Everything they do, everything they measure is how it relates to Michigan.
So are you implying, Sam, that they would be in the MAC if they weren't?
Maybe.
Hey, this is some serious rivalry talk right here.
This is not right. No, this is about Michigan understanding its worth. And right. now you have a bunch of less thans thinking they're your equal. Yeah. And in a sense, based on how this conference dynamic is working out, they are. And if they're going to wield that power in a way that disadvantages you, then it's time to change this dynamic. If you're going to just be capricious and arbitrary with how you come down on me, no, I'm not going to do that with everything that I do for you. No, I'm not going to sit here, bring you all these riches, and then
paying all the bills.
Right.
I'm paying your phone bill, everything.
And then you complain and you want me to sleep outside and I bought the house in the first place? Can't stop it, man. No, I'm not doing that. I am looking at a future where I start my own Big Ten. Because how about this? How about I start talking to Notre Dame? Any move you make like this is not made overnight. You start planting the seeds, forming the relationships, building the alliances. So if in the event that down the line, when this contract is up and you want to try to make a power play, you've already put all the ducks in a row to do so. Yeah, you start thinking like that. Talk to Notre Dame. Talk to USC, who is coming in with a partial share right now. You think Michigan, Notre Dame, and SC couldn't form their own Big Ten? Go get North Carolina when they're closer to the end of the ACC. Bring them in. You can bring all of the same values, athletically and academically, to the table and forge ahead on your own with all these people, all these programs are taking you for granted. Now, it doesn't have to go this way. They can still back off. But the problem is they think Michigan is going to react like you just said, Devin. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't sound right. They don't. I can't leave. I can't leave. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because where Michigan goes, the money goes. Michigan is the king on the board. Ohio State is the queen on the board. And everybody else are just replaceable pieces. Y'all can be replaced. Those are the two that count. And if one of them leaves, we'll see what happens to the rest of you. But one of them can leave and do their own thing. And if I'm Michigan, I'm starting to think like that.
I get it.
Yeah, they've taken, I think, this whole scandal
Devin, get on the table, Devin. Get on the table. Ain't that what you said? Get on the table.
I only get on the table for stuff I know for sure. And JJ McCarthy was the thing I got on the table for, is all I'm saying. I got on the table and I'm looking like a genius. That's all I'm saying. He hadn't done much. He hadn't been able to show much. But I watched the high school film. I watched the Elite 11 stuff, saw how he competed. I watched how he competed in limited opportunities he's got. And I made sure everybody knew, and then nobody believed me. And so now y'all looking crazy when I'm going to go cash his bet in when he win the Heisman. You should have listened. That's all I'm saying. Should have listened.
Yeah, Sam, I think you're addressing the politics of it all, right?
Yeah, I stay out.
Right. And I'm about to say, that's one thing that I think that, like you said, like the people that are all involved in this, they're missing the boat of how they're escalating the politics to a really bad level as far as how it looks from the outside looking in with the conference. Like people down here in the South, they're like, man, those schools up there slinging mud at each other. Like they don't care who's right and who's wrong. They feel like Georgia's gonna beat everybody anyway.
Right.
But it just looks bad from an optic standpoint. Like, man, what are y'all doing? Like, come on. Like it's a bit, all of it is a bit childish to me, and they're escalating it to a dangerous level, to be honest.
See, me and my wife, we had this rule. This is how I knew. First of all, she's from Flint. That's just number one, right? Grew up with her, met her in the 6th grade, But we had this thing. I might be wrong, but when we in public, I'm right.
Yeah.
You might be wrong, but we're in public, you right.
United Front.
People out in the street are not going to see us.
We'll talk about it in the car.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. They are going to see when we got problems, when we have issues. That's something that we handle in-house. That's not public business. But see, these teams, these other programs are very out there with this is public business. They're making it very clear this is not a brotherhood. This is not a kinship. There's no camaraderie. We are business partners. And I'll say again, when your business partner tries to screw you, you go find another business partner. You don't just stay. I know that about you. See, Devin got y'all food. Devin got y'all food.
No, I ain't that guy. You get one time to do me wrong. We ain't doing the whole, it's all good. I'm just saying, as the university, I don't got nothing to do with that. If I'm the guy, if it's me, no, we're not doing this. And like I said, I quoted Denzel. You heard me. I started that quote when we started saying it. I know what time it is. You think you could do this to me?
That is an all-time great scene. I do feel a certain kind of way that he won for that, not Malcolm X, though. I thought Malcolm X.
Weird. Should have been both for sure.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. But I digress. Listen, this show is, I love all the shows that I'm a part of. They all are great. This one, because I get a chance to be with my fellas, with my guys, it hits different. It hits a little different, right? They all hit. This hits a little different. And so, been spreading the word, been telling people all about it. Few more people are finding out about it. They keep asking me, do you have an app? I'm like, no, well, we don't have an app. Just watch it on YouTube. Just watch it on YouTube. It's like, can you get all your shows in one place? Well, yeah, my YouTube page, but what about your site? Your site page, but Sam, do you have an app? No, I don't have an app. But I have a friend who has an app.
Yeah.
That's right. A partner. See, this is what a partner is supposed to do. A partner is supposed to lift you up. Provide
you up when you're down.
Provide some assistance. Help you out. Boost you.
Lend a helping hand, if you will.
And that is what Tom Brady has done. Tom Brady with his new app, Autograph. If you don't know about it, and Ben, if you can bring that Tom Brady message up on the screen for the people to see. He has this new app that brings all of the elements of fandom in one place. So all the articles you like to read on TMI, they come through on the Autograph app. All of the different shows that we do on YouTube come through on the Autograph app. All of the podcasts we do come through on the Autograph app. Even some of the other sites that you like to consume, like MGO Blog and the like, come through on the Autograph app. All of the elements of fandom right in the palm of your hand. And what makes it even better is you get rewarded just for doing the things that you always do. That means reading an article, you get points. Going to special events, you get points. Watching Steady Dropping Dimes, you get points. Watching the Monday Morning Quarterback with Devin Gardner, you get points. And you're able to redeem those points. So again, fandom convenience, or the convenience of fandom with the app, and then rewards for being a fan. Rewards for being a Michigan fan. It doesn't get any better than that. But that is my description. Ben, let's hear from Tom Brady himself. It's in that video that I sent to you. It has all of the elements and Tom Brady talking in the background. It even has the barcode on there. So if you can share that video right now. If you can't do it, then I will. Here we go.
Maize and Blue Nation, it's Tom Brady. I co-founded Autograph with one mission in mind: change the fan experience for the better. That's why I'm excited to announce the release of a new app that recognizes the biggest Michigan fans. The Autograph Fandom app gives you access to the best Michigan content, fan challenges, and exclusive rewards for diehard Wolverines, all for doing the things you already do, like listening to this podcast. Head over to the Apple App Store and search for Autograph Rewarding Fans and download today.
So, folks, listen, it doesn't get any easier than that. Now, here's the problem, and I know I'm going to hear from people right now. There is not an Android app yet. It is only for iOS users, only for people with iPhones.
Only for normal humans. It's only for people who want to live in the 21st century.
Listen, man, I'm an Android guy through and through, so I'm right there with you. And the Autograph folks, the TB12s guys, they said, listen, tell the people the Autograph app is coming, or the Android app is coming. In the meantime, in between time, all of those of you out there with the iPhones, you can scan that QR code. Those of you who are listening, if you listen to this in podcast version, then you can go to their website. We'll put this in the comment section for the people as well. link.ag.fan/Sam Webb. That's link.ag.fan/Sam Webb. No space. Code is Sam Webb. Again, no space. And go ahead and get the app, and you'll get all of these dimes. Every episode of Dimes, you get a notification. It's coming through. All these articles that we're writing, I'm looking to find out what's going on with the Michigan's response to the Big Ten. I know what the response is, but officially, right? All that will come through on the Autograph app. So be sure.
Sam, I don't know about our fans, man. I'm starting to question the sanity. I see too many Android users in these comments now. I don't know how sane our fans are, and you got to be crazy to love us three. So that's what it is, I think. My goodness.
Yeah, I'm Droid all the way. Thank you, my people. See, this is why I did it, people. What you iPhone or Android, Daniel?
Oh, I'm Android all day long. Samsung, there's a difference.
Come on, me too. Samsung all the way, baby. I'm right there with you. Right there with you.
What have I joined? Where am I? Am I in the Twilight Zone? This is crazy.
All right. So we'll see what Michigan's response is. I'm just telling you, if they come down with this punishment, I had heard, and I reported this yesterday, I'd heard that they at least had come off the indefinite suspensions. Like, man, why did you even come? Why did you even come if that's how you talk? Right? Like, you ever been arguing with somebody and they're not even thinking compromise. They just come in the door and talk about how wrong you are. It's like, why you even come? Why did you even come? You could have said that over the phone, right? So if we're going to talk, let's be reasonable about it. It sounds like they've at least started to be reasonable about a punishment. But at this point, I don't expect for Michigan to self-impose anything. And I don't expect for them to just lie down and take any punishment that has suspension in it unless there is due process, which means no suspension right now. Otherwise, going to court. So, we'll have some more over on the MichiganInsider.com a little bit later. Okay. In the meantime, in between time, fellas, got some other things to get to. One of them being, you look around and you see, what's going on in the NFL. My team was off last week, and I root for the demise of all NFC North teams. But I did kind of find myself saying, this is an interesting story in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Because they make Kirk Cousins out to be a top 10 quarterback. It's offensive to me that they say that. I just think, he's a good quarterback. But when I think top 10 quarterback, I think guy who could put team on his shoulders guy. Yeah. And he's never been that dude. Case in point, Josh Dobbs shows up on a Friday. Okay, I'm exaggerating.
Wednesday. It ain't that much exaggeration. It was a Wednesday.
Right.
He got there the day before the game, right? And rolled up and balled out. If I'm Minnesota, I'm like, man, I'm paying this Kirk Cousins dude way too much.
Way
Josh
too much.
Dobbs can come in here and do that.
Sam, do you know how hard it is to you couldn't even really do 7-on-7 with dudes you don't know for real. For you to be able to go in a game and you got to, right before you go in, take snaps because you've never taken snaps with the human that you are about to have to trust to protect you, to give you the snaps and then block for you. That is insane. And then watching the game, right? So you hear about it, but then you go watch the film. It's like he trusted protection. He knew when it would break down. He got out. He made plays with his legs. And you got to know what's happening on those plays are he's getting the play in his helmet, right? He's relaying the play to the team. And then guess what? He's got to get explained in his helmet what the play actually is because he don't know the plays yet. Like, that is insane. And then to go through and process the defense and figure it out in the way it happened, unbelievable. He's a Watkins brother, and you guys, the Watkins Award is for the top African-American student athlete. They do it for high school, and he was a couple years after me. I remember meeting him and his mom when I went back as an alumni in D.C., and it's just like he's been special his whole life. He's like a certified genius, like a rocket scientist. I mean, he plays chess while he's training football. He does all these crazy things, but the ability, the intestinal fortitude, because he had like a bad play early in the game in the second quarter where he fumbled and whatever. To be able to do what he was able to do is some of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life. Like, he was playing for another team and playing fairly well. They bench him, not bench him because he's playing bad, because they knew they were going to trade him, right? Kyler Murray's getting more healthy. He goes to a team that loses their quarterback, and in less than a week, he is on a game-winning drive and finishes the deal. Unbelievable. And more people should be talking. I don't think enough people are talking about the feat that he was able to accomplish.
Yeah, to come in middle of the road like that. I mean, how many plays you think he knew, Devin?
If they have stick in the plan, stick, like double slant, that's it. But as far as like full concepts, zero, man. Zero. He knew nothing. He wasn't expected to play. It's just like, we just need you for security. And that's why he hadn't taken any snaps with the first team. He hadn't taken any snaps from the actual center that he had to play with. He knew nothing. And I'm sure O'Connell was telling them what to do before the play, which is the cool luxury that you have in the NFL with the speaker. It cuts off at a certain point, but you can hurry up and rattle off some stuff. And because he's such a smart guy, he was able to retain it and play well. I mean, this ain't Kyrie Irving going to a new basketball team in the middle of the season. This is football, guys. A very dangerous sport. Hey, and for him to be able to do that, I was super impressed. I mean, couldn't be more impressed.
Hey, when Kyrie go to a new team, they only running high pick and roll and side pick and roll the first week too.
Yeah, playbook is Kyrie left, Kyrie right.
Kyrie left, Kyrie right.
Their playbook go from about 50 plays to about 3 plays.
Man,
right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, man, it's impressive. It's hard for me to say anything nice about another NFC North team, right? But I guess if it's gonna be one, it'd be Minnesota. I can't.
Yeah, you don't really look at them as a threat because they got Kirk Cousins at quarterback.
Well, I don't look at any of them as a threat this year. As a matter of fact, look at me, Lions fan. Talking about I was the idiot.
Look at you with your chest all out.
I was the idiot either. I sound like Rutgers right now, right?
How about Droppin Don being able to talk about the hometown teams and not really seem biased just because they're so good and everybody's talking about them? That's good. I like it.
Right. I think we are our opinions. One of the very first shows we did, we talked about how, hey, Jared Goff, stop disrespecting him. There was actually a question, who's the best quarterback in the NFC North? And I said, man, I mean, are you trying to troll me right now? I mean, like they must be singling me out. It's insulting to ask the question. Who else in the NFC North has quarterbacked the team to the Super Bowl? I'll wait. I'm trying to figure it out. I still haven't heard an answer. There's only one. They said Justin Fields. What fool on ESPN talked about my man Love from Green Bay? I'm like, man, now I know they just throw out fake takes just to get people debating. And part of me wonders if that's what Stephen A is doing. Because Stephen A came in one player on Michigan's football team. He barely know Harbaugh coach for Michigan.
But we talked about this last week when Daniel was on Stephen A. Stephen A is the same person that said that Haskins was more of a runner than a passer. So we know that he not getting a chance to, you know what I mean? There's no way, right? Because that guy couldn't run at all, and he was a really good passer. So you got to take it with a grain of salt as far as I'm concerned.
Here's what I wonder. Because, see, if I said something stupid,
y'all
would be on me. Devin was like, "Hey Sam, that's like you've said it before. I don't agree with you saying it was.
Yeah.
You said it before. Like Sam, I don't know, bro. That don't sound right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Won't nobody say that to Stephen A. And
Well, that's his show, and guess what? You won't have a job tomorrow.
Right.
But the reason why I'm on a show with you guys is because you actually played. So you bring some expertise to the table that I cannot. That's the point, right? Ain't that the point? To listen to them on the things that you can't talk about from experience. Like you can talk about them, you can have an opinion, but the person who has had the experience, they kind of bring a little more perspective to the table. And none of those guys are willing to bring that Stephen A.
Now, Stephen A. Smith is a media bully, man. Even the people he works with, like, you can tell that they're scared to really, like, say how they feel or engage with him in a differing opinion without him, you know, throwing out his trump card. Well, I've covered this. I'm like, man, just because you could, it's a lot of people standing on the sideline. Like, what are you saying? What are you saying right now? There's a lot of people in the bleachers. Like, he's one of those guys, like, first of all, if I'm going to get my sports commentary, if I want some sports entertainment and commentary, he's way down the list of people that I'm going to listen to, like way down the list. So when people tell me like, oh, Stephen A. Smith said this, like, man, you wasted your 5 minutes listening to that, man. So it's one of those things where like you have to take what he says with a grain of salt. He doesn't, he's like, I guess because he has to cover so much, he doesn't cover anything well. So it's like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing?
So my point in talking about the quarterbacks is Jared Goff is far and away the best quarterback in the NFC North. Far and away.
Not even close.
Never have taken a practice snap with the offense.
Never.
I didn't know he had to take a practice snap.
You ain't just hear my long soliloquy. You thought I was making that up? He never even not like taking practice snap and team. He's never even taken a center quarterback exchange from the center. He had to do it on the sidelines so he can know how he snaps the ball. Sam, what you actually Sam? Did you really? Where were you at? What was that long soliloquy I just gave? Were your headphones off, Sam?
They were on. But I mean, sometimes you get going. You know.
Oh, that's a real thing, man. Never didn't take a single center quarterback exchange with the person that he had to do it for the game where he played. He had to do it on the sideline just before he went out there, just so they can get a feel of how he can take the snap. That's crazy.
Man,
it's even more impressive now, isn't it, Sam?
Well, I mean, if I'm the Jets, I'm like, man, what? I'm talking to my front office guy, like, man, hey, how this dude go wind up over there? We looking for a quarterback. You couldn't go get this guy who could just roll off the street and quarterback a team like that.
Yeah,
there should be a whole lot of teams on their backup quarterback, kind of thinking like, hey, how did we miss this dude? How did we miss that guy?
He's nice.
All right, we need to pause for the cause with our friends from Destination Ann Arbor, your tour guides to all things Ann Arbor, as I say. So coming up, by the way, we probably in December, recently signed his NIL deal with Destination Ann Arbor, one Mr. Will Johnson. One Mr. Will Johnson is going to take us on a tour through Ann Arbor in his eyes, his favorite places. We're going to do this. So, you know, they not only are your tour guides to all things Ann Arbor, but getting involved in the NIL space with great representatives in the community, not just the Michigan community, but the Ann Arbor community, and opening up maybe some different aspects of Ann Arbor that you didn't know about through the eyes of a student athlete. That's a unique thing that's on the horizon here on Steady Dropping Dimes and some of the things that we're going to be doing with some other programming. So going to be having Will on as a guest. Looking forward to that. Speaking of Will, he looks like he's back all the way back. Like I thought the game that he played against, I know it's Purdue. He might just like Purdue too because he balled out against Purdue in the Big Ten championship game, right? But man, he was getting it done. And then you say all the time when you playing against a guy you know like Deion Burks, good receiver. Good receiver.
You know him for a long time.
Right. But been knowing he was like, okay, I got to get you. I got to get you, right? He was in his hip pocket all night long. So he looks like he is back fully to form. Excited about what's on the horizon with him. Excited about what's on the horizon with our friends at Destination Ann Arbor and telling you about some of the great places to go eat. I recently sat down with the woman who runs the show at Destination Ann Arbor, Sarah Miller. And we sat down for a beer and a burger at Frazier's. You heard me talk to the Frazier's pub owner last week. It's like an iconic, pub right here in Ann Arbor. It's where a lot of the old sports dignitaries would go. It was the old hangout spot for all the coaches. You go in and you see autographed jerseys from Lamar Woodley and Marcus Ray and Jake Long. I mean, they're all in there. They're all in there, right? So we went over there. We sat down for a beer and a burger, and we started talking about a lot of the things that Destination Ann Arbor opens the doors to for you as someone who's a visitor, someone who's a dweller who lives here, right? Someone who is just looking for a spot to get away or a spot to go eat right here in Ann Arbor. We covered a lot of bases. So I'm going to give you a piece of our beer and a burger sit down with Sarah Miller from Destination Ann Arbor.
Drop that track.
Yeah, he's coming.
Hungry?
I am hungry. We are in good shape. So, how are you about ketchup?
Definitely a ketchup.
You do ketchup, so let's do ketchup.
All right.
All right.
You first. I think I have another one here.
So, are you a ketchup on the fries or a ketchup on the side of the fries?
I'm a dipper.
You're a dipper?
I'm a dipper. 100% dipper.
So, I bathe my fries in ketchup. And I put mine right on the fries. And see, then
Yep.
let's do the salt and pepper.
Oh, definitely.
See, so the reason why I do that is because now
Oh,
it sticks.
Oh, that
Exactly.
is smart. I don't know. There's something tactile about dipping for me. I still have to be a dipper.
All right. And just to make sure I can get a good bite, I always give myself a nice cut.
I just want to show these 3 amazing patties and the melted cheese. I mean, how many times do you go to a place, get a burger, and the cheese isn't even melted? And it's just, I'm eating cheese and meat. And this is the true package of melted cheese on 3 layers of meat.
Yeah, you got like a Thousand Island.
With pickles.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it gets better.
Okay. So Frazier's, Sarah,
Yeah.
this is when you talk about old school Ann Arbor.
Old school Ann Arbor.
Coaches going back to Bo. They all came. This was the spot. This is where
the
they
spot.
came.
Yes, is the spot. Absolutely, it is. Family owned, which we love. Operated, and even down to the new ownership today, Christina met her husband here. And they have taken over because of the love that they had for this place. They knew it was a special place to be able to continue the traditions of what is Frazier's and what this community loves. That's what we love.
This is outstanding. Now,
Crispy tater tots. There's nothing worse than a soggy tater tot.
so I just said burger. I didn't even tell them which one. And they came out with the right one because the onions are grilled. So I hate when places just throw onions on the burger. Give me nice grilled onions on the burger.
Right?
Right?
Yep.
Grilled to perfection.
You know, I don't know how I'm going to eat this, to be honest. 3 layers is a lot. It's very messy. Yeah, my mom is going to be really embarrassed about this. I already know. She always taught me to eat like a lady, but this isn't a lady kind of burger.
So I've seen so many great athletes come through, from Marcus Ray to Lamar Woodley. I know this is a favorite spot of his. Braylon Edwards. These are all guys that I covered or our friends. This was their spot too.
You can't. Mouthful. And let's just, should we grade burgers on how messy they are and how good they are?
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, the messier they are,
It's not a great burger if it's not messy.
then the better
Right.
they are, right? So this gets a 10 out of 10 for sure. And the best part about coming here, like on a game day, I just want to prepare anybody who might want to come here on game day, because it is shoulder to shoulder, 100% packed. To your point, everybody who's anybody is here, and you might not make it in the door,
including Bruce Motti.
Yes.
Bruce Motti. Just a little known fact. People who listen to the radio know this story. So it started at WTKA as a Sunday morning host. We actually bought time. I want to say it was back in 2004. We actually bought time on the air for our website, just for exposure. Doing shows Sunday mornings for like a year or two, when the management at TKA said, could you fill in during the week? Sure, I could fill in during the week. Then 2005 rolls around, football season, and they'd say, will you come in and be the morning host? There's a new guy named Ryan McGuire. He'd come in and be the general manager. No, man, I don't want to be a morning guy. It'll change your life, right? You got to wake up at 4 a.m. No way. Went on to do afternoons in 2006. Management changeover again. And in 2007, they're looking for a morning host again. They called Bruce Motti. And they said, Bruce, who do you recommend to do the show? Sam Webb. And they said, well, we already asked him to do the morning show, and he turned us down. He turned us down back in 2005. He turned us down again here in 2007 because they had asked me again to do it. Bruce said, call him back. Bruce called me and said, you better take that.
And so we got a chance. That's very high up on the list of the beer and the burger samples so far over there at Fraser's. We get into a lot of the special events that are coming to town, a lot of the special places and experiences that you can have in Ann Arbor, courtesy of our friends at Destination Ann Arbor, your tour guides to all things Ann Arbor, as I like to say. Ben, if you can put the QR code up on the screen for those who are interested. Maybe they're coming to town for the Ohio State game in a couple of weeks, and they're looking to plan that week, to plan ahead as far as things they're going to do, places they might stay. If you haven't booked your accommodations already, man, it's tough sledding as far as that's concerned. But if someone's going to help you find a spot, it would be our friends at Destination Ann Arbor. I would scan that QR code and give you all kind of tips, places to go, experiences to have, your tour guides to all things Ann Arbor over at Destination Ann Arbor. And again, we'll have the full episode that we'll put up over on the YouTube page where you can find out about more things that you can experience right here, not just in Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County. It's important to note that, as I say, Destination Ann Arbor, we talk about spots, places, things all throughout Washtenaw County that you can experience. All right, with that, Ben, you can drop that outro track. So, fellas, NBA, my Pistons are off to a so-so start for them. Turn over the ball way too much. They don't play defense for a full game. They play like a typical young team, and they have a no-nonsense coach very clearly. I mean, he's bringing Jaden Ivey off the bench when he's healthy. That tells you right there.
He's not playing no games.
He's not playing any games, because that's not something I would do, is start Killian Hayes over Jaden Ivey. And yet here he does that. He's managing the minutes pretty well for Cade Cunningham. But Cade Cunningham is seeing the star treatment all of a sudden. He's seeing double teams night in and night out, and really needs someone to start taking some of the pressure off of him. But an interesting thing, in the offseason, there was a poll of NFL or NBA GMs, said who will the breakout players, who are the candidates for breakout player in the NBA this year? Cade Cunningham was on that list. Cade Cunningham was number 2 on that list, as a matter of fact. That's a pretty good pick, because you listen to a lot of the pros for Team USA were playing against him in the offseason. They're like, hey, man, that dude's really going to step up. He's really going to break out.
Super nice.
Right? Franz Wagner, former Michigan Wolverine. Franz Wagner was mentioned. Paulo Banchero, his teammate with the Magic, was mentioned. Tyrese Maxey, I saw Tyrese Maxey's name, and I'm like, man, I feel like Tyrese Maxey is already kind of broken out.
Yeah,
but number one on the list, guys, number one on the list was Anthony Edwards. Now, that's a dude that I definitely feel like has broken out already. I know he got your attention this last week with a performance he put on. Ain't that right, Devin?
Oh, 100%, man. First of all, when he first came out, he's one of my favorite players. I'm just like his attitude. It's like it can come off arrogant, but it's supreme confidence, right? He's not faking this. Like when somebody asks him, can he do sword fishing? And he's like, yeah, I believe I can. Just because, like, I think I can do anything. You know what I mean? I don't have any limitations. Limitations are for other people. And as a player, as a basketball player, obviously extremely dynamic. But this past week against the Celtics, a game that obviously the Celtics should win. They were undefeated. I just love how he tells stories. And he talked about how Jason Tatum was talking junk to him at the tip in overtime. And he's kind of like, man, I got 5 fouls. That's the only reason I'm not D'ing you up, dude. Like, what is wrong with you? And then he gets a big stop in overtime, turns that into points on an assist, and then he completely takes over the game and finishes the game with 38. His ability, I really want to ask Daniel, what makes him so special? Because you can see he can jump, he can shoot, and whatever. And it seems like he got the mental, the EQ, right, the emotional intelligence to be a star. But what do you see from him as a player?
Man, I see a kid that's really, really explosive. Like he can score the ball in bunch. Like back in the day, you say guys can score the ball in bunches, and that's what he can do. Once he gets going, he's hard to stop. He's very skilled. He can handle the ball. He can shoot the three. He can attack the rim. And we just watching his development since he was drafted, he's taken all the necessary steps to continue to become a superstar. Now he's at the point where when it's crunch time, whether it's the play-in or they actually make it to the playoffs, now he has to develop that piece of now when I have to go to another level when it's the playoffs and when it's crunch time. And so I think he'll do it. He's like you said, I think you talked about it earlier. Maybe getting Cat out the way may help him a little bit, but he's going to have to, or maybe not getting Cat out the way, but just
making it clear.
Yeah, putting the ball in his hands and trusting him more in those situations. He'll continue to develop and become the superstar that I agree with you. I think he's well on his way to becoming it.
Fellas, we gotta break in with some breaking news. See, remember when I told y'all times are different? Like back in the days of the Fab Five, they laid down and just took it. They laid down and just took it. You said we did it. We're so ashamed. We're so ashamed. Right?
I can't believe you got us.
That was then. This is now. You try to come at us like this, we're gonna sue. Now, if you look around and you see how Missouri is operating, you see how Tennessee is operating, you see how Texas is operating. I'll give you 3 quick examples. Texas was looking to incentivize NIL giving, right? You give to our NIL opportunities for our student athletes, we'll give you breaks on tickets and whatnot. NCAA came in and said, hey, that's against NCAA rules. Texas said, well, our laws say we can do this. They said, well, NCAA said, well, you'll get a violation. Texas lawmakers said, okay, if you come down on Texas, we're going to sue you. They backed off. Tennessee got 200 violations. Right?
200. Money in McDonald's bags.
They're throwing money left and right. It's like Snoop at the Kansas Midnight Madness. You see Snoop at the Midnight Madness a couple years ago where he had the dollar shooters and the girls.
Yeah.
They brought
Odell Beckham at the national championship with LSU, just giving out money.
Right, just giving out money. Odell Beckham at the championship game, Snoop at Kansas Midnight Madness. We are not making this up, by the way. Odell Beckham really was passing out money at the championship game, and Snoop had a dollar shooter at Midnight Madness for Kansas. It was the old ladies were around and they're watching them do all this, right? And anyway, I digress. Tennessee said, yeah, we threw money in McDonald's bags at players left and right. You know, we were paying guys all over the place. but we should not be penalized in the form of a bowl ban. Well, NCAA is like, it's kind of on the table. You got 200 violations. The Attorney General in the state of Tennessee said, I dare you to exact upon them a penalty that includes a bowl ban. Because you know what? If you do that, I will sue you because you are impacting the NIL opportunities of the student athletes at the University of Tennessee. In Missouri, they want Missouri to come up, right? They say, so, okay, in-state players, you sign a letter of intent to stay here in the state of Missouri and play at Missouri or play at a state institution, you can get NIL as a high school player. You sign someplace else, you can't get NIL money as a high school player. But you sign here in Missouri, we're going to make sure you can start getting paid right now. So a state government working to help its institution, right? Working to give its programs an advantage, not just over other programs, but an advantage when it comes to battles with the NCAA. Big, put up the letter from Michigan state lawmakers that they sent to Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti today. That's right.
I knew Sam had something in the bag.
That's right. Lawmakers from the state of Michigan sent this message to Tony Petitti to let him know. I believe it's 11 lawmakers. And it says, as members of the Michigan legislature, we write to you today to urge you to act prudently and refrain from taking any premature measures against one of our state universities, including their athletic program, football team, or coaching staff. These individuals are our constituents, and we feel the need to ensure they are treated fairly. In the legislature, we pass laws to ensure every citizen and organization in Michigan is guaranteed their rights to due process under the law. These principles of justice should also be followed by the Big Ten Conference. Allegations of misconduct against conference members from the state of Michigan should be taken seriously. Accusations, especially those made by interested parties, must be met with thoughtful and thorough investigations based on fairness for all of those involved. We all know the passion surrounding college athletics, not only in our state, but around the country. With social media speculation and public rumors running wild, it is important that any investigation and determination is based on carefully considered facts. The University of Michigan and its football program, like all of our collegiate athletic programs, is entitled to an impartial and deliberate process that takes into account all evidence, allows for opportunities for the accused to refute allegations, and comes to the conclusions based on the whole truth. It is essential that the Big Ten Conference not take any disciplinary action against the University of Michigan until the final results of its own, or more appropriately, the NCAA investigation are officially announced. Should those results demonstrate misconduct, and appropriate punishment should be imposed. In the meantime, the players and coaches should be free to continue to participate in the game that they love without being punished with premature or unsubstantiated sanctions. Should you, as the commissioner of the Big Ten Conference, rush to judgment or engage in any ill-considered actions, we will vigorously support our public universities in their efforts to compel fairness and due process. Fellas, that is, I wish you would. I wish you would. That is what that letter says. I dare you. I double dog dare you. What he said that in the movie. I don't. That's my man in Pulp Fiction. He said, "Say what again? Say
what again?" Hey Sam, I know you're surprised, but I love Pulp Fiction.
He's a double day.
What? What ain't no place I ever been to? You speak English in what?
That's what that letter is. And go watch Pulp Fiction right now. That whole scene, that's what when they were writing this letter and that scene was playing in the background. It's just that it has the cuss words. They took out all the cuss words and sent the letter in.
And use some real political wording, and that's it.
That's
Right. And you know what our Sparty rivals are gonna say, right? You know what they call it when somebody steps in and brings a voice of reason. They gonna call it the blue wall, huh?
Hey, man.
That's only right, man. That's what they should. That's like they shouldn't even got this far where we have politicians weighing in on minor college football infractions. Like, this is wild.
What does Jim Harbaugh look like? Does he look like a?
Does he look like a?
Right.
Right.
I'm just saying. That's what that letter is, and that's the posture that you're supposed to take at a time like this. And they need the state government to have their back on this, and because right now Tony Petitti has the weight of the rest of the conference behind him, and they're putting pressure on him, and he's new, and I actually kind of sympathize with that. This dude is a TV executive. He's not a sport administrator. He brings in expertise in the area that is most relevant to the financial future of the conference. But the competitive future is what's at stake right now. And he's ill-equipped to deal with that. He can't tell these coaches that come to him telling him player safety and overwhelming advantage, and this is why they're winning. He's not equipped to tell them, shut up, right? He can't do it. He doesn't have the depth or experience to do that. But now you're getting pressure from the other side. See, this pressure, you understand. These are legislators coming at you, telling you, guess what? You think Michigan and Jim Harbaugh are the only ones that are going to sue you? Guess what? Guess who else is going to be a part of that? Right?
Take a wild guess.
I dare you. You can try it if you want to. Right? You can try to drop this punishment on a Friday when the courts are closed if you want to. But guess what's going to happen? Jim Harbaugh is coaching the rest of the season, fellas. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that's not a report.
I thought that was went without saying.
This is my opinion based on these things, based on what I know and what we see, and now state government getting involved. Yeah, that's not happening. Jim Harbaugh is missing no games, missing no hours, missing no seconds. He is going to be on the sideline for the rest of the season. Now, I said last week, hey, you got an opportunity, Penn State. If Michigan
you can end it right now.
Yeah. If they win, if Penn State beats Michigan, guess what you can say, James Franklin? Right? James could actually go out there and say, see, I'm better. They had Connor Stallions, which is ridiculous to say. We were winning because of Connor. Like, who? You were winning because of who? Yeah, but you can say it now, and no one can say otherwise if you go out there and you beat them. Same thing with Ohio State. But you should want that opportunity. You should be calling around, trying to get them beat, that kind of stuff, trying to get them suspended from games and that
trying
kind
to get them with one arm behind their back so you can have to, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Come on, man. I applaud the legislators here in the state of Michigan for stepping up. This is the kind. See, when you're taking shots, it's not like Michigan can't fight this battle. Like, Michigan can fight this battle. But when you got to fight 13 other people, like, you do get tired. It can be, even if you physically can do it, it can get mentally taxing. But when your boys, Devin and Daniel, say, I got your back, Sam.
I got you, dog. Hey, Daniel going to be there in person at the Ohio State game. I'm going to be there in spirit. We got you.
Hey, Daniel was like, hey, you want me to roll up on? He was like, hey, man, I'll come up there just for that. I was like, no.
Strength in numbers, man.
Right, but the point is, you get tired fighting all these battles. They got a game to prepare for, a season hanging in the balance, right? They got the best team they've had in the Harbaugh era, probably the best team Michigan's had since the 97 season. And you got to deal with this too. Like, I mean, the players are fine. They're more offended than anything. The players.
Hey, Sam, you know why I know we don't got a lot of time, but the reason they're gonna win the national championship, it's always some garbage going when you got a national championship contender that ain't supposed to be there, right? It's always something that comes out of the woodwork. Remember Auburn, right? Oh, Cam Newton this, Cam Newton that, and it's a rallying cry. I can tell you for a fact in those meeting rooms at the University of Michigan, that's a rallying cry. And you thought that you were going to get them off their game maybe or whatever. They are more motivated, more focused than they've ever been. And that is a scary sight.
Hey, Devin, what Coach called it? A priceless gift. He was absolutely right. Like he doesn't have to motivate them now.
There's nothing to pin on the walls. You guys are doing it for me.
Thank you.
Hey, so listen, this is great support. Great support for hey, there you go. Jules. This is my man Jules. Jules said, hey.
Say what again? Say what again?
Hey, what does Wiley say? That's exactly what they did. Exactly how the Big Two came down, just down like a bad mother.
There you go. And so listen, folks, before we get out of here, listen, I know some of you are going to Penn State. Some maybe have waited till the last minute to try to find accommodations. You aren't finding anything within 200 miles of Happy Valley. Not that you personally, I wouldn't want to stay within 200 miles of Happy Valley. I want to go and come back. Problem is, it's a beast to fly into. Yeah. Hate flying into Happy Valley. And then it's like a 6-hour drive if you're driving here from Southeast Michigan. What if you can catch a ride? What if you can catch a bus? And not just any bus. What if you could ride on Golden, right? Golden Limousine, our friend Sean Duvall, members of the Michigan football family, they're taking a bus to Happy Valley. And they are going to support their team. And you know what? You can get on the bus too. You can get on the bus too. That golden bus that's going to pull off 3:30 in the morning on a Saturday and come right back that night after the W, you could be on that bus as well. When you ride on Golden, you're riding safely. You're riding in luxury. It is transportation, the likes of which you don't normally experience. That is the Golden difference. And so, Ben, if you can bring up the tweet, because they put it out there for the people to see. I confirm there are still some spots left on the bus. So if you want to go to Happy Valley, maybe you don't have a ticket because you're like, I don't have any place to stay. Well, this bus is going in the morning, coming back at night, right? And all you got to do is ride. All you got to do is get ready for the game and then celebrate the victory on your way home. So, Ben, if you can copy that link, put it in the comment section. You can also go follow Golden over on Twitter as well. And click that link. There's still some spots left on the buses leaving Ann Arbor 3:30 in the morning. And so you ride to Happy Valley, you ride back. Doesn't get any better than that. And that is with our friends at Golden Limousine. Sean Duvall has a transportation company and service that is second to none. Absolutely second to none. This is in the comment section right now, right? So those of you who are looking at it, just go over to the comments and you can click the link right there and it will get you on the bus if you are so inclined. All right? And more information over at goldenlimo.com. That is going to do it for this episode, fellas. I figure by the next time we get together, we are going to have some very vivid examples of some Jules-like commentary, not just from Michigan and Jim Harbaugh, but these legislators who came out and basically dared Tony Petitti. Like, you can try it if you want to. Try it if you want to. All right? I love steady dropping dimes. I love spending time with my fellas. I love spending time with you, the people. We're going to be back next week with another episode. Until then, remember, if you're traveling to Ann Arbor, you live in Ann Arbor, you're looking for a place to stay, a place to eat, an exciting, opportunity outdoors to have, your tour guide to all things Ann Arbor, Destination Ann Arbor. One more time with the barcode on the way out so the people can see it. Benjamin. And then we will be out, folks, and we will see you next week on the next edition of Steady Dropping Dimes. Yeah.
Yes, sir.